Episode 5 of Starbreeze's Dev Diary series for Payday 3 has just dropped on beta launch day, which, I mean, talk about straight into the partners thin, but you know what? We're here to talk about anything Payday 3 themed, so that's what we're doing. And I'm actually live right now on a YouTube stream, so if you're watching this live, thank you all very much, but it's going to be a bit fun to record one of these videos live, because I'll do my reaction, as always, and there'll be a timestamp in the video if you want to skip it and just hear me breaking it down afterwards, but we're going to do all of it live, and then make a video out of it, and hopefully it'll go up the day after. We'll probably do it that way so I can paste videos out. For this one, the only real hope I've got is that we see other heists beyond the 2 we played in the beta, because, well, I've played in Sweden, sorry, and the one that's in the beta. Wording, very good for me. But I personally feel as though, we've seen a lot of those 2 heists, and we have concept art for the third one, the Golden Shark Bank, but I really do want to see more of the heists. That's my plan and my hope for this. So if this Dev Diary doesn't have any other heists, then I'm going to be a bit disappointed, but I'm sure they'll still have cool stuff to share regardless, so we'll have a look and see what we got cooking. So, 8-minute video, exploring heists. Let's give it a watch, see what they've got to say.
I don't know if this should be part of it, but I guess you will cut and choose.
All right, come on, what have we got?
So Payday 3 is launching with 8 unique heists, and our goal is essentially to ensure that each heist has its own identity. So when the creative process starts, we're always asking ourselves, what unique gameplay element does this heist have? And how do we make it look and feel unique, even if some of them have a similar setting? So we're really trying to make each heist feel like a set piece.
Yeah.
But most importantly, we're making them feel Payday.
And that's trying to go back to the roots of Payday
The
heist.
hardest things to get people to coordinate is positioning and movement. And stealth at its core is positioning and movement. I'm Per, and I'm a design lead here at Starbreeze. We're trying to make it less binary, so we have soft fails, so we have different security levels in different areas.
Yeah.
Like if you get caught trespassing in certain areas, you don't get cuffed, you get escorted out and you can try again. You can make a mistake and not go loud immediately.
Like if you break stealth, we don't want that to feel like a failure. We want that to just feel like, oh, okay, well now we're going with the other plan or the other play style.
Yeah, and that's one thing, especially now after playing the beta, solidifies it, is that getting spotted by, for instance, a camera doesn't mean you're automatically going loud. A camera spotting you means a guard will come and find you, which is a bit different. And even then, when a guard was running after you with the handcuff symbol on the screen, I've already lured him in a couple of places where I could just, kill him. He followed me into a room, basically, to try and arrest me. And then as soon as, we were in a room where no one could see him, I killed him. So you've got more flexibility, and just being spotted by a camera doesn't suddenly mean you've messed up now. And I like that level of flexibility. It's been really fun to notice it within the stealth gameplay.
Oh, okay, well now we're going with the other plan or the other play style. And that's reflected in a lot of things, like the skills and the gadgets and how the civilians work as well.
So creating a co-op stealth game as opposed to something that is solo only, a big difference there is players can do a lot of different things in parallel, right? Like there is not really one linear path, and different players can essentially go to different locations and do their thing if that's the way you want to play. Every time we design a heist in stealth, we have to think about all the different layers tied to that and the different options that players can do, and also make sure that they feel incentivized to do them.
Yeah, there's definitely flexibility there as to who can do what.
We expanded the masked off stealth experience, and so you can do a lot of objectives and a lot of work in stealth without putting your mask on.
Which has always been something you needed, really, and it's
wants
done
to
well.
mask up during stealth. Maybe 2 players will mask up and 2 will stay encasing, but even those players encasing can help. So that way, if you're not confident in what you're about to do and don't want to risk going loud, you can maybe play it a bit more safe and do the less risky things that still need to be done.
Yeah, and again, another thing, this is the advantage of having played the beta, being able to talk about it, even though I've barely played it yet, and I'm excited to play a bit more now in this stream, is that I was thinking that playing it through, because I ended up in a solo lobby somehow, and I was doing some objectives and thinking, while I'm doing this, someone else could be doing this thing, someone else could be doing that, and even in a room with 4 hostages, if you want to move them into a safer location, all of you could grab the hostages and move them through quicker. People can be doing different objectives. It's kind of like what started with Hostile Takeover in Payday 2. You introduced a feature basically, or Starbreeze did, where you could do any objective in any order, and it feels like that's come into full fluidity in Payday 3. So I'm really liking that there is that flexibility, and that, if you are a bit, should we say, less skilled at stealth, let's be nice here, that you don't have to mask up. There's plenty of stuff you can do with your mask off, and you can keep it off until pretty much the end of the heist, which is great. I mean, if you keep it off till the end of the heist, but I don't think you move bags then, which would be a little bit lazy, but I like that you've got that. So if I'm playing with a group of 3 friends and one of them happens to be good at stealth and a couple of them aren't, which actually does speak quite loudly to my Xbox friend group, whoops, then, you know, the people who are good can mask up, the people who are less good could walk around and mark things. I really like that.
One way we've been doing to modernize sort of the interactions and mechanics that you're doing is there are less quick interactions. It's more about bypassing obstacles by managing hostages, moving them around.
I still think there should be different button prompts there.
Movement and just general coordination between players, and also using the tools that you have.
We've expanded a lot on the civilians in stealth. So we've broken down civilians into your regular Joe Schmoes and the employees, and they care about different things. Civilians have more value. So in Payday 2, you just kind of traded them to get people out of custody. We still have that, but we also have the negotiation phase.
Which has worked brilliantly.
Whether there's any civilians nearby or not, shotgun enemies, they will switch to a more precise weapon. We have a new enemy as well, the third with gas grenades, but they will resort to using flashbangs if there are also civilians in the area. We also have some skills that leverage and give you more stuff if you trade civilians, so they have a value outside of just getting somebody out of custody.
Vastly expanded and vastly superior as a result.
There's a lot of strategy involved in where you place a civilian, so you might not want to trade all civilians right away, but of course there's always the risk that you might kill them because they're in the way of fire.
So we have security modifiers in Payday 3, which essentially is a way for us to sort of throw in a wrench into the game when you're stealthing. Depending on what difficulty you play, we have a rotation of
Titan
security
cameras look
firms,
cool.
and what they do is they change how you have to approach different things. It's a way to make the heist more challenging and also increasing replayability.
Something I'm quite excited to try on stream, but particularly in the main game.
We've also tried to make objectives and goals scale a bit with the number of players, not in a more like if you're solo you have less stuff to do, you have the same amount to do. For example, in one heist, you might need to do a hacking objective on one end, but then you need to go and do something at the other end of the heist, and then that's something another player can do.
So the world has evolved since Payday 2, and that's something that we've adapted to as well. So you will see more security systems, and you will see more tools and equipment that are high-tech. Also in general, the world feels a little bit more high-tech, but it's still contemporary. And making sure that it feels contemporary has also been an important part of the vision, since the game is going to grow over time, and we want to make sure that it feels sort of timeless in that sense.
From my point of view, a lot of the more digital stuff is in the gadgets. I feel also the hacking is a bit more expanded, and we have a foundation there to further expand it post-launch. So right now...
Ooh, okay, so that's another mention of things being added in post-launch. They've said already that they're going to be adding in more skill trees post-launch. They told us that in Sweden, and that's clearly something that they've designed the skill system with that in mind, that they want to add things later. But yeah, there's a lot more of a tech element here, and I think there's some interesting stuff here, but I'm hoping we're going to get more, some more expansions. It'll be cool to see what else they can do with the theme.
Hacking is mostly focused, or rather systemic, non-objective hacking in the game is more focused on cameras.
Cameras, phones, that kind of thing,
plans for down the line to further expand hacking functionality as we add more content in the game.
Okay.
So there are a bunch of new gadgets in Payday 3 when it comes to stealth. What we have focused on primarily is the goal has been to increase the player agency, meaning gadgets should be a tool for you to sort of either de-escalate situations or different ways of approaching security systems or infiltrating the locations that you're supposed to heist.
One thing I'll say about that is one lobby I was playing in the beta earlier, not one that's not in the video, was I was doing a stealth heist and there was a camera in the way and I was fully masked up. So I think if I was masked up and they spotted me, it would have caused a different problem. And someone else who hadn't masked up hacked the camera and just tilted the head straight up to the ceiling so I could go underneath without it spotting me. Stuff like that you can do with the technology is really, really practical and really useful. And it's features that, really do overhaul and improve the stealth. It's why stealth for me is the biggest improvement in Payday 3. Because, the loud overall has got a very similar basis to Payday 3. It's more fluid, the enemies are more kind of controlled. There's not like just throwing loads of stuff at the wall hoping it sticks, and health has been changed, that kind of thing. So a lot of it's not the same, but the biggest improvement for me has been via stealth, and it's becoming more and more apparent the more you play and the more they talk about this stuff.
So as far as voice lines go, we have something that we internally call coordinated voice lines, which is SWATs will react to things in the world and
notice
say a
that with
line,
civilians.
And sometimes that stuff is related to other enemies. So if there is a dozer somewhere nearby, you'll hear a SWAT say, make way for the dozer or clear the way for the dozer. That's also a hint to the players. There's a dozer nearby, and they will have some lines for civilians as well.
Okay.
We have a bunch of new puzzle mechanics, especially during stealth, because stealth is when you usually have to be pretty calm and very strategic in terms of what you're doing to not escalate the map. Some of our maps also have very unique security systems. So, there are laser grids, alarmed floors, sensors that are moving. So we're definitely evolving the type of obstacles that you have to bypass in Payday 3.
The difficulty of stealth varies quite a bit from map to map, but it
Okay.
also your approach has to change between maps.
Yeah, I think the
You
art
need to
gallery is
adapt
definitely
to
hard on the
heist quite
bank,
a
for
bit.
sure.
It's less of a racing game, and it requires a bit more patience to figure out what happens and how to move around.
Coordination is also really important for the difficulty of a heist, and not just coordinating who's where and who's doing what, but coordinating skills is also very important.
When you heist in Payday 3, I love the fact that you many times feel that you are in control and things are going pretty well. And then you open the vault and you start stealing money.
The zoom in on his
and you
face.
realize, holy shit, there's a lot of money here. Let's steal some more. That's usually when you get really, really fucked.
The blunt nature of that is brilliant. The zoom in was so creepy. It was making me like uncomfortable. Okay, is that okay?
That was pretty good, no?
That was actually pretty good, yeah. Well, there you go, ladies and gents. That is Dev Diary number 5. Well, do you know what we'll do? Oh, my Twitch chat has not been refreshed, or my YouTube chat, I should say. Let's refresh that, and then the YouTube chat can put their opinions in here if you want to. Feel free to let us know what you think of the Dev Diary. For me, that was a really good Dev Diary, but I also feel very disappointed because that didn't feel like it was talking about heists as much as it felt like it was talking about stealth. It feels almost like a bit of a blue balls from the title, if I'm completely honest. Well, it was a good video. I really enjoyed it, and it shared some really good stuff, but I don't think it gave what I thought it was going to give. I thought by heist they were going to say, here's some of the different heists you're going to be doing, here's some of the different themes, here's how things are going to differ between them, whereas really most of it was focused on the stealth aspect. If it were me, I would have called that video the stealth one. Personally, that would have been what I'd done. Regardless of that, though, I still really enjoyed it. I think that exploring the stealth and explaining some of the things that, us partners tried to explain to you guys after Sweden, but with not having the footage to back it up, it's nice to see them talk about it, provide the footage, and you see everything in play. Like guards spotting you and escorting you out of buildings, the fact that cameras won't just sound the alarm when you're seen. I'm really glad that they're beginning to explore some of that stuff on the record, so that it's not just us telling you and you having to go, okay, that sounds cool, can't wait to see it. You're actually getting to see it, and I think that's really important with these Dev Diaries, and they're doing a really good job of that, personally. I think that they're handling that very, very well. It's a shame that when they're talking about in, their stealth system, saying, oh, we've got these laser grids, we've got motion sensors, blah, 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 they are just showing us stuff that, unfortunately, we have seen already in that art gallery. I would have really personally liked to have seen some of these stealth features in a different circumstance. Now, I do understand that there's only 8 heists. You don't want to give away the whole game immediately, and I totally get that. But I think it would have been nice to have maybe picked one new heist, tell us a bit about it, and show how stealth is unique in that one, to further prove your point that things are so different between heists. Because I don't disbelieve you. I don't think they're lying or something. I don't think they're kind of exaggerating. I just think that they could show a little bit more in terms of the variety, personally. So, overall, still really, really enjoyed the episode. I haven't got as much to say about this one, like I said, purely because I think it's just breaking down a lot of what I'd already kind of ascertained and seen from playing it, what I was trying to convey to you guys. I'm just glad that we have that video evidence now to talk about things, and I really like that they're putting an emphasis on the fact that, especially within stealth, the way that objectives are coordinated, you can do them in any order, and if you have a full lobby, which in the beta you have to, pretty much, then you can all do different things and help each other out. You don't have to mask up, you can do plenty of things without a mask. If you mask up, you can do certain objectives while your teammates do others, marking people, dealing with cameras, hacking things. Some things there they didn't specify, but they require skill, so like hacking a guard's radio to set it off, pretty sure that needs a skill, but it will distract a guard for a bit, so if he's in the way somewhere and you want him to move, or you want him to stay in a certain place, hack his radio, we'll sit there and fiddle with it while you run past. I like that they're showcasing some of this stuff. Very good episode, even if it didn't quite give me what I was thinking it was going to give me. I still enjoyed it. Thought it was very, very good. I think we'll leave that video there, so thank you all very much for watching this Dev Diary 5 breakdown. If you've enjoyed it, as always, drop a thumbs up on it, let me know, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay in touch with all future Payday 3 content on PC and consoles. But apart from that, I'm going to get back to my live stream now. I'm going to play the Payday 3 beta. I'll see you all with some brand new videos very soon. Until then, look after yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon.